everyone, it's Naomi Sneakus, and welcome to the Firecracker Department After Show. We have AJ Edmonds in LA, we've got Emily Churchill in LA, and we've got Anna Gustafson in Toronto. And we do the after show to discuss our past episodes. And this episode, we are talking about Cameron Manheim, who I adore. I think I might have a big crush on Cameron Manheim, and I'm not afraid to say it. You'll know Cameron from things like The Practice, Stumptown, and Ghost Whisperer. She's also running for SAG Secretary Treasurer. She's one of those people that can just do anything. She rides a motorcycle. She does sign language, folks. She has game nights to end all game nights. Cameron Manheim. What did you think about that episode, Emily?
Oh my God. I loved it. It really hit home for me in many ways. My favorite part was when the director, when she first day on set, and he gave her a donut and a coffee, and she turned it around and she's like, I'm gonna, she shoved it in McDormand's mouth. And I just was like, good job, girl. You turn that around, make it yours.
Yeah, I feel like she did a lot of trailblazing with like bigger sized women, because she kind of just was like, F it. Like, I mean, NYU, that story about being at NYU and all the agents that that were chosen on the lists, and where she turned it around. I was like, I think that was such an inspiring story. AJ, what did you think of this episode?
All of the women that you've interviewed are firecrackers. She's the first one, I feel, where she's actually someone that is just on fire all the time. Like, she is exactly the example of like creative innovation, making it work, using what you have in life to just put it out there. I mean, even from her foundation of coming from parents that were protesters, and then she's like the kid crawling out of the window because she didn't want to be in class. Like, she's got such a great energy about how she approaches everything. And I love listening to her talk. Like, I could talk about her episode for hours, because I think that she just offered such a real approach to not fitting the mold, right, being outside of what it means to be normal or the right size. And I mean, she definitely talks about it now as something that was positive. I can't imagine what it would have been like to be doing a master's in New York City and get a letter like that from the school.
Yeah, I remember, like, even like I mean, I'm Hollywood fat maybe, but I'm comfortable in my skin. But I remember like being in a photo shoot, and they were like, "Oh, we'll airbrush this part of your body," and this is when I was like a teenager, and I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like, "Thanks for making me look like not me." I don't know. Does that resonate with any of you? Anna, what about you? What do you think?
I remember I've listened to this episode twice because I love it. I was on a plane flying, and I think I said out loud, "What the fuck?" when it was like, I was so angry but I think about it, and when I listened again, what it must be like to know that going in with her boxing gloves and fighting for that change happened, and they actually told her that was because of what she did. Like, what a great story for everybody to know, that you can, when you have those little feelings of, should I say anything? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Emily, you're nodding. What do you think?
Yeah, I've actually felt the same way, especially in college. I remember being told I've always been told I need to lose weight. It's fine. The one thing that I will say, though, because I have dieted, where I got down to a size 8, which is normal, right? But for me, that's like, you're not eating. You're literally not eating. And I booked less when I was skinnier anyway. So I'm in the same kind of situation, I feel like, trying to trailblaze an average person through this industry, because not only am I not skinny, I'm also not as big as the bigger girls. And so when I say something, they're like, "Oh, you're not a chubby." And I guess that's the term. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm not fit in there, and I don't fit in the skinny way. So it's definitely an interesting subject. And I feel the same way of like, let's go out with our boxing gloves. I'm going to get there some way. If you're going to be in my way, I'm just going to, work through it. So
I think my feeling is that we have to be looking at our genes. Like, the magazines that we have around us are so unrealistic, especially for kids. But if you look at your genes, look at your grandmother, your mom, your dad, and be like, "Oh, that's my future." Like, I'm a strong Lithuanian woman, and my grandmother, oh my God, she was strong. But look, I met Cameron's mother. I mean, she's a firecracker. She's still taking classes at UCLA, and she started like movements, and she's just like a dynamo. She came to like a nightclub with us to watch some stand up. What's your heritage like? Who are your grandmothers like? Or moms, dads, grandfathers, all of them.
I've got a Scandinavian Finnish background. I had two little bitty grandmas, but everybody else was gigantic, pretty much. So we all just got, my dad calls it skookum. We're skookum.
That seems like your language, AJ, skookums.
It's not a word we've used as a
It's
polite descriptor.
No, it's not.
I don't know what skookum is. I'd be like, share the couch, skook 'em over. I don't know.
No, it sounds like more of an action word. I am like as British and white as you can get. And so are all of my lineage. It's like teeth all over the head, small frame. Some of them are really tall. I actually, in terms of size, I didn't really have anybody to look to understand why I was so much smaller. Like my mom is 5'8". My dad's 5'10". All of my dad's family are over 6 feet. All my mom's family are over 6 feet. Like I'm like 5'3" and like hair. So
what does male man look like?
yeah, well, I look like my father, so there's no doubt. There's no doubt in that mind. But like my grandmother wasn't super big, but she's definitely taller than me though.
Yeah.
But
And like, who are the firecrackers in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I guess my dad's fourth wife, she's my mom really. She's took me and raised me. And I would say that we're all pretty barrel figured. So I think I know where I get my barrel figure and it's fine.
Yeah. What else did Cameron talk about that resonated for you folks?
the boxing gloves for me. When she first said it, she was like, yeah, you just grab your boxing gloves at the front of the door, you walk out and you put them on. And my first reaction was like, oh yeah, that's super empowering. Like you want to go out every day getting yourself ready. And then because I do the same and I describe it as such to a lot of my friends when I go into big meetings or dealing with somebody that I know is going to present a bit of a challenge to me. I say, I'm putting on my armor. Then I thought about it and I was like, I never hear a lot of like dudes say that. I don't hear guys talk about armoring up or putting their boxing gloves on. And there is an element of being a bit sort of frustrated by the fact that I do feel like I have to be in a boxing ring for people to like take me seriously or listen to what I'm saying, and that I have to be ready for a fight in order to accomplish what I'm accomplishing. So it's sort of a double-headed dragon for me, because on one side I'm really proud of all the fights I've had. All of the things I've gone into where I fought for what I believed in and I've won, and then I'm also a bit exhausted by the fact that I do have to do that as pretty frequently.
Just to have a normal day. Just you expect that to be your normal day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Emily, what do you think about that?
Yeah. Feel like I'm always boxing them, boxing and getting my way going. But I do feel more empowered as a woman. I feel like we are getting our voices heard. So I don't know. I hope that in the future we don't have to, put on our wraps and our gloves. Maybe we can just put on our wraps instead of both. But in boxing terms.
I think there's something about being comfortable in that state too. Like, I think I'm such an anti-conflict person that anything that is remotely like a conflict, I'll be like, back away, back away. But I'm trying to teach myself to be okay in conflict and get sweaty and do whatever has to be done in that conflict. And if that means putting my boxing gloves on and standing up for myself, I'm trying to train myself, because I used to be very much like, oh, that's okay. I know you didn't mean it. I'm going to step away.
Yeah.
Is that your world, AJ?
Oh yeah. I think we talked about this on another episode. I'm very used to sort of having to be a little more stern and put on what my mother taught me to do. It's called the laser lobotomy. Like, I might be small, but don't cross these eyes if you've really upset me or done something that was wrong. 'Cause I will stare you down and you'll feel it.
I mean, that's the thing with Cameron. Like, she's a dynamo. She's one of those people that when she says 6 o'clock, you're there at 5:45. You don't mess around with a Mannheim. But it's also, she brings the fun too. Like, when she has game nights, they're honestly like memory making. They're so much fun. And her kid, Milo, is equally as delightful as she is. And so I think there's a balance, right? Of like, sure, put on the boxing gloves, but then she also knows how to really have a good time in those boxing gloves. Anything for you, Anna, that stuck out story-wise?
This is in the other, I can't remember what other episode we were speaking about this, but that when she was talking about getting her first script, I think going into it, she got it from Marsha Gay Harding, and she didn't know what EXT meant or INT meant. And I love that sort of, I sort of look at it as like leveling the dream playing field, because people that think it's so, you have to know everything to do things, and just that there's nobody knows shit. Like it's like we can figure it out as we go along, no matter where we are on the scale. You can start, right? Like there's no magic. There's just doing it, figuring it out, asking the questions.
I sometimes feel like I'm not allowed to make mistakes anymore. I'm not like I'm supposed to know everything by now. Whereas there was a time, I remember in my 20s, I was like, I don't need to know everything. I'm just going to jump in. And now I'm like, no, I should know better. I should know better than that.
Somebody like Cameron Manheim at a level that she's at, saying that she didn't know what the hell was going on at the beginning. For somebody that's at the beginning, will understand that that's a thing. Like they're not, oh, I have to know all the things before I even try, which is a stumbling block some of us have.
Yeah. All right. Any other final thoughts about Cameron's episode that you wanted to bring up that resonated for you?
I just want to meet her and play cribbage.
Yeah. Or do you? It's a little bit terrifying, but she brings great snacks.
I love that she's from Peoria, because I'm from Springfield, and it's pretty close. So I was very excited. I was like, ooh, homegirl, okay.
Yeah. Anna?
I'm terrified of the notion of a game night at her place. I think about, like, that's something I'm going to dream about. You know how you dream about missing the bus or not studying for a test? It's going to be about being at Cameron Manheim's house and the games come out and you're like,
no, it's like full on, full house. There was like 20 to 50 people there. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite things to do. I laugh so hard. I come home with like my body aching from laughter. It's really and as I said, she has great snacks. So it's the perfect evening. Good laughs, good friends, good snacks, good games. What more could you ask for? Speaking of, what more could you ask for? I want to ask for more from you. What are you guys working on these days?
Oh.
Emily.
I'm producing another movie, Stark Raving Actress. I'm starring in it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. We'll keep our eye out for hashtag Stark Raving Actress.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anna?
I'm doing I'm on a stand-up show in Toronto on September 7th at the Isabel Bader Theatre with all my favorite lady comics in Toronto. It's just, I don't know, whoever put this together, it's for Variety, Variety Club. And it's like Martha Chavez, Lori Elliott, Judy Croon. Like, it's just like all the girls. Yeah.
And that's such a beautiful theater too. AJ?
I just wrapped a short film last weekend, and I'm going into pitching a TV show I wrote.
Yes, you are.
Oh, good luck. You got this.
You got this. We just launched our Someone Stole Something podcast. So I'm trying to get that out there. It's on wherever you listen to podcasts. And it's based on a true story of when Matt and I had a party at the cottage, and at the end, 3 chairs went missing, and we blamed everybody.
That picture is great, you guys.
And then we found it at the bottom of the lake. Anyways, based on that, there's a lot of characters and they're not at all the people of the lake, but it's really fun. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube, go subscribe. Click this button here or there, or maybe there or there. I don't know where the button is, but you should push it. And subscribe to our after show series, because every episode we come out with, we're coming out with one of these, so you can get a chance to chat with our core team. And who knows, maybe one day we'll involve the full community, and you'll be involved. So subscribe to Firecracker After Show. And thanks, everybody. Don't forget to go on to firecrackerdepartment.com and be part of our newsletter and do all the things to be part of our community. We'd love to have you there. Bye, gals.
Bye.